Hi, my name is Brian Venton with another My Town Media opinion piece called The Show Cause Sham. Mr Thompson, the suspended Mayor of Townsville, has been issued a 14-day show cause notice from the government asking why he shouldn't be sacked. This can only be described as a show trial by a show jury resulting in a show hanging by a lynch mob baying for blood. The reality here is that no matter how good Mr Thompson presents himself, it cannot ever be a fair and unbiased response by the Premier and his Minister. Now, why is that? Because the due process has never been followed from the outset. Mr Thompson has never been afforded natural justice before an unbiased tribunal or court process. The CCC, in my view, has been used to find a crime as an excuse to justify a suspension, whilst ignoring and dismissing the actions of councillors, the CEO and others who are potentially implicated in the takedown of the mayor. The CCC has most likely found nothing prosecutorial against the mayor and has only had a briefing with the minister. That briefing can only be considered as an opinion, profit for the so-called good of the community. That opinion has never been tested. As I understand it, there has been no notice provided to Mr Thompson concerning either that briefing with the minister nor the content of that briefing. It is astounding that the minister should take such an extraordinary step to threaten to suspend the mayor with sacking without allowing the case to be heard before an independent tribunal. I imagine the show cause is more about hiding the government's own complicit actions whilst maximising insult against the mayor. A bit like, let's protect our own backs by shifting blame. This constitutes a major problem for both the Premier and his Minister because both are conflicted in the matter, having been reported to the CCC and the HRC because of those conflicts. They are effectively enabling themselves to be judge, juror and executioner in one operation. This is a sham trial, a sham jury, and could end up being a sham hanging if the government is not held to account. It's much like a lynch mob who abuse the judicial process. When a man cannot have his case heard in the presence of an unbiased tribunal or judicial process, then there is no justice, and it's an abuse of power and potentially corrupt. The actions by the Premier and the Minister has the appearance of being an act of revenge to silence an opponent without due process. The timing and process is seriously questionable. The moment the focus started to shift and highlight the potential conflicted acts of the Premier and the Minister was the moment they took swift action against Mr Thompson. The Minister at 10:45am on the 18th advised the Parliament about their show cause intent. Then the Townsville CEO at 12:36pm emailed all staff saying Council has today received notice that the Minister has had briefings with the CCC and Mr Thompson has been given 14 days to show cause why he should not be dismissed. But note this, it wasn't until 4:45pm in the afternoon that Mr Thompson was personally advised of the decision. That, I suggest, is peacocking on full display. It appears the government wanted to maximise the disgrace and harm to the mayor to shore up their own situation and perhaps cover their own backs without any transparent due process. Why Premier Crisafulli has allowed this to happen in the way that it has raises serious questions as to his motive. It could bring down his own government. Every mayor in Queensland must be concerned that this could happen to them. Every attorney at law must be shaking their heads aghast at the lack of due process. This has the sniff of an escalating witch hunt. Now, there are three questions that I have. Did the Premier press the CCC for a briefing ahead of time? Is someone pulling strings in the background here to create a predetermined outcome? And is there a bigger story being concealed that needs to be exposed? What are your thoughts? These are my own honest opinions and thoughts proffered without prejudice, and I acknowledge that they're not necessarily the opinions of others. Thanks for watching, and remember, the things that appear are not always as they seem. Bye.